Hey students, this is Coach Bryant. We're going to talk about finding circumference today. So you have your handout on finding circumference, and we are going to get going. All right, so the definition for circumference is the perimeter of the circle, or you could say it, the distance around the circle. The perimeter, circumference is the perimeter of the circle or the distance around the circle. The formulas for circumference, there are two, but they're really the same. Circumference is equal to 2 times pi times radius, r, or circumference is equal to pi times the diameter, d. So finding radius or diameter. Radius is half of the diameter, or you could say radius is equal to diameter divided by 2. Radius is equal to diameter divided by 2. Now diameter is 2 times the radius, or diameter is 2 times the radius. 2r is the same thing as saying diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. So how to remember which is radius and which is diameter? Think doctor circle. So if you have a circle, you have a line going through it. You think of this circle, the line going through it as a big D. The big D is for diameter, and the little r is for radius, doctor circle. So radius is half of diameter. It goes halfway up. The little r goes halfway up to the diameter. All right, okay. Now, we've got a nifty little tool to help you find circumference. And so what we're going to do is we're going to draw a diamond like this, and at the top you're going to put the radius. And on the right, we're going to put the diameter. On the bottom, so to go from radius to diameter, we multiply times 2. Now we're going to go from the diameter to the circumference. To go from diameter to circumference, remember circumference is diameter times pi, so we'll multiply diameter times pi. Now let's say, pi is approximately 3.14 for our use. And if we go from circumference, need to go from circumference back to diameter, let's say we have the circumference but we need to find the diameter, instead of multiplying times pi, we would do the opposite. We would divide by pi. Now we're back at the diameter and we want to get back to the radius. So to go from diameter to radius, remember radius is half of the diameter, or diameter divided by 2. We would just take our diameter and divide it by 2. If you notice, everything on the right is multiplication. And everything on the left is division. So that's a handy tool. If you write that out, it'll help you remember how to find circumference. Yes, you can use the formula, that's awesome, but this might be a little bit more accessible as you work into doing some practice with this. So let's look at we're going to complete the table below, and we're going to start with a example of a radius of 2. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the diameter. So 2 times 2 is 4. So our diameter is 4. Now we need to go to the circumference. So our circumference is the diameter times pi. So we need to take 4 and multiply it times 3.14. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Maybe we need to pause the video. I'm going to reveal the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam. The circumference is approximately 12.57. Now some of you might be wondering about the squiggly line for the equal sign. Because pi cannot be written precisely or exactly, it's an irrational number. we use 3.14 as an approximation of what pi is. So anytime you try to find circumference or area of a circle, anytime you use pi and actually try to multiply that out, the actual correct thing mathematically is to use the squiggly line instead of the equal sign, the actual equal sign. That means the approximate sign instead of the actual equal sign. So you've got a table there with several more examples to do. Most of them work from radius or diameter. We have two at the bottom from which you're going to work from circumference, and then you're only going to work on the left and go from circumference to diameter, divide by pi, diameter to radius, divide by 2. You're going to do great, I know it. Okay, so going backwards, divide by 3.14, we're back to 4, divide by 2, and we'd be back to 2. Okay, so again, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 22 over 7 would be 88 over 7. 88 over 7, cowboy and the horse style, would give you about 12.57. So it'd be the same thing if we use 22 over 7. You're just using fractions instead of decimals. And really and truly, you can use whichever one you're more comfortable with. You don't have to use 3.14. If you want to use 22 over 7, that works too. All right, you're going to do great. Get after it.